Hey guys, cool. Today we're going to be looking at Property24. We're going to be house hunting in the Blouberg area. Let's get started. So usually when I navigate to Property24, I'll go over to the location. I'll select Blouberg. Our price range for today, let's go for a 2 mil. So anything below 2 mil would be ideal. We'll look at houses. You'll see, and again, do 2 bedrooms. You'll see for 2-bedroom houses and above, 33 properties in the area. Apartments, we've got 259, so predominantly apartments. Townhouses, 24. Yeah, goodness gracious. Okay, so let's go for all of that. We've got 316 in the Cape Town area. Just remember, Cape Town's got high demand at the moment, so property is flying, not really room for negotiation. So let's just see here. I usually navigate to most recent. And now let's have a look what we have in the Blouberg area. Blouberg, for anyone who's not familiar, would be over here. So you can see this is Cape Town, wonderful Atlantic seaboard over there, Sea Point, we've got then, Cape Town over there, Milnerton, honorable mention, finding property over there, but the Blouberg area is this entire area here. Hopefully you can see my cursor. Yes, you can. Okay, so we've got the Blouberg beachfront sort of area, Parklands, we've got Sunningdale, we have Parklands North, and and Sandown. So Parklands North would be here, Sunningdale over there, Sandown, whole area is Parklands, and then here would be Tableview, Flamingo Flare area, that sort of thing. So we'll actually just take a look at what we have in the Blouberg area. So that encompasses all of those that I just mentioned. Let's just see here. So most recent, 1 mil 70. I personally wouldn't go there. I'd be looking for something above 1.5. This one sold. Oh my gosh! I viewed a property here listed for 850,000 a year ago, and it sold for 1 mil 150. 2-bedroom though, which is quite nice. And the one that I viewed was actually newly renovated because it had a leak. And when it comes to properties like this, I wonder if they don't show when it was built, but you can already tell it was a long while ago. Which are decent little 2-bedroom place, 1.1 million. When you buy property, I think anything over 1.2, you have to pay transfers, but because this property is 1.150, I don't think you have to pay the full transfers there. So you can see there, 34,000, it's excluded. So you can see you only pay the 40,000 bond registration costs. So that's 2 additional expenses one has to factor in. It's the property transfer cost and the bond registration cost. So always take a look at that. Another thing I look at is the levies when I'm house hunting, and then also the rates and taxes. Levies, killer man. So as you saw, we have majority apartments and townhouses. Those will come with the levies, whereas houses, only 33 in the area currently listed, they won't have levies. So that's obviously the benefit there, but you obviously have to do your own maintenance, etc. Let's continue. So then I also usually look at the earth size, so the floor size, the earth size, the land, floor size, just to see kind of what's there, but that one didn't have it listed. This is an auction. I'm going to give this one a skip, but you can see there, levies, rates, there you go, floor size 51 square meters. So not really what I'm looking for, a little bit small. Studios in the Cape Town, Atlantic seaboard, for that, if not smaller, would be 2 million and up. So it's quite hectic for any South Africans at the moment. Let's just take a quick look through. I'd probably say the decent properties are 1.5 and above. You do get some for 1.3 that are decent, but they're really like your market entry points. You can get something for less, but for the extra value, I'd rather go 1.3 to 1.5. But if you can, I'd probably stretch to a 1.7, 1.8 to 2 million for a 2-bedroom. That will give you space, it will give you a nicer area, that sort of thing. So all things to consider also when you sell one day, resale value, and also noting that resale value, but also for the, slipped my mind. But long story short, for eventually when you sell, that's one thing to take into consideration. So this one here, 1599, this one looks very nice. Let's just see here, nice outdoor space, 1599. Let's just take a look at this. So 76 square meters, very nice size, 1 bathroom, okay. 2 would be ideal, but kind of for the area, that's what you'll get. Let's just see what we got inside here. Egyptian, whoa. Okay, nice. Not too bad. Yeah, nice little space. Obviously, you'll design it or interior decorate how you would want. Very interesting placement for a fridge, like right there in the middle. But I suppose that's the only place that can be. Wow. Yeah, so the ceiling there needs a little bit of work, but yeah, overall, yeah, I wouldn't even touch this because of the ceiling, but not too bad. Very interesting door, sliding door there as well. Yeah, no, so I wouldn't personally go for this one. Let's just see here. 76, not too bad. Levies 3,500. Next. What? That is wild. I'm not even going to look at the rates, but anyway. So 1.5. Okay, so this could be decent. Where's this? So yeah, when they don't put their address, you know what I do? I usually sift through the pictures. Very big shower head. If you have a big shower head like that, leave it in the comments. But yeah, that's wild. Olden day kind of fixtures for the floor. Oh my gosh, look at that floor. And then the lights up there. Yeah, this is a, okay, I'm not going to pronounce it, but yeah, so the address is pretty much there. So that's how you can pretty much find the address if they don't list it. Just look for pictures of the complex name, etc. So yeah, 54 square meters, 1.5. You need to factor in that you're going to be paying transfer costs because it's over 1.2. So 48,000, and then also 44,000 bond registration, 92,000 on top of the purchase price of 1.5. So you can negotiate and say, like, listen, this is, yeah, 1,800, 290 rates and taxes is ridiculously low, so that's good. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's these levies that are killer with escalations over time. But yeah, not too bad. Decent market entry property. If we take a look here, you'd be paying 14,000 rand a month. Damn, for some people, okay, joint income it's fine, but for a single individual, 14,000 rand for 2-bedroom, you could probably rent it for cheaper. So I understand why some people may rent, but yeah, so that's quite rough. But if you put, let's say, a 250,000 deposit, come on guys, 250,000, 12,000, that's like a rental. So if you have that, you can at least have a smaller bond payment. The only thing you need to consider is what sort of interest would you get on 250,000, right? I think currently, if you do F&B money maximizer, right? Let's just do calculator. If we do 250,000 plus 6.9%, I think is what you get in that F&B account there. Wow, did I just press plus? Let's just say equals. Pathetic. Oh, there you go. I could have actually just gone one back. 6.9%. So this would be the year equals. So you get 67,000 off of it. Oh, not 67. We did 250. So it's 17,250. That makes sense. There we go. 17,250. That means divided by 12. So you technically, by putting in a 250,000 rand deposit, you'd be sacrificing a 1,400 a month from your bank interest, having that money in the bank. So if we go back to here, yes, your bond payment is lower, it's 12,270, but you're also at the opportunity cost of the 1,400. So if you had to just rent it, you'd be, so if you had rented for, let's say, 12k, you would still have the 1,400 coming in. So you just need to consider what you want. But in the long term, I hope that makes sense, but in the long term, not too bad. 12,000 is probably the going rate for, not even, 12,000 is like 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom territory. 2 bedrooms actually range all the way up to like 16, 17,000. It's actually really crazy for rentals. So yeah, so here we go, another one, 1,499. Let's see what we got here. So this one's a decent location, I would say. Let's just see here, 54 square meters, so also quite small. Levies, 2,420, I wouldn't even look further than this. 14,000 payment. Yeah, I wouldn't look further than this. That's quite high levies, and you've got some interesting features in your house. No real place to put your TV. A random person in the background. Does she come with the house? What? Yeah, no, anything with wood, I'm staying away from. Personally, if you like wood, then go for wood. But yeah, no, not for me. Thank you. So this one looks decent. 1,295 is probably the cheapest one you'll find. Helmsley Village. I know where this is actually. Took a look at this the other day. So it is off Parklands main road. Oh no, wait. Actually, it's this way. It's on Gee Road, and then it would be located over here somewhere. Here we go. So I think it's here. Helmswood Village. Is let's just put that pin down. Okay, no. So it'll be here off Gee Road, not my preferred area, but it is still a decent area. You can see here, yeah, a decent area if you're starting out, and for 1295, 100%, like, this is a viable spot. Let me just see, is it this place? No, it's not the Rouge. Okay, I think it's this one. It's Helmsley 2, this is Helmswood. Oh, okay, then I've completely missed it. It's probably a road down. Somewhere there, don't take my word for it, but anyway. Is it OCD that I just want to like find it? But anyway, whatever. So Helmsley Village, let's see here, let's go through the pictures. Interesting kitchen. Okay, it's more kind of secluded, not too bad. Carpets. If you want carpets, go for it. Let's see here. What trumpet is that? Hope it's not anything. What is this? 1295. So, I mean, very, very interesting setup here. Very interesting. I don't know, there's something about listings, if you want to sell your property, which is oftentimes the biggest asset you have, why do you have dirt in the bath? Why do you not take better pictures? I don't understand. These agents literally don't care. They're like, oh, you want to sell your house? Yeah. Like, they don't care about you getting the most money you can for your property. They just want to list it and obviously justify the price point. Big garden. Okay, that is very nice. That is very nice. See, it was sort of like the area that we were looking at anyway. But yeah, look at that in the driveway. Haval, you can also take a look at areas by looking at the pictures, seeing what cars are there. Kind of gives you an idea of the demographic of the area. Helmsley Village too. So yeah, decent little place. Yeah, if you might want to do a few little minor home improvements. Interesting place to have a TV. But yeah, for what you get, 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath. So that's usually your normal standard bathroom, with then one being a toilet only, right? So 70 square meters, decent space compared to what we've seen for 1.5. Let's just see here. So no showing of levies and rates. So it may be high, may not be. So yeah, so I don't know whether that's a lead gen tactic to get people to message and inquire. Usually when I message, I'll just say WhatsApp here, WhatsApp agent. And then that will just take me straight to them. I usually ask for the CMA, so the comparative market analysis. That just shows you the valuation of the property and also compared to other similar properties in the area. So whenever you message an agent, just say, hey, if they don't have the address, what is the address of this property? Obviously you can tell because you've gone through the images, you can see that it was Helmsley Village 2, whatever it was. There you go. So yeah, and then just say, is it possible to send through the CMA? Sometimes they'll say no because they believe it's not POPI compliant. There is personal seller, information on that document, but usually they can send you one for the buyers that doesn't include that. So just ask for the CMA. It'll give you some good insights into what the recent properties have sold for, if it's complex or something like that. So always ask for the CMA. And then if you're also looking to buy places like this, which are townhouses and apartments, always ask for CMA and ask for the AGM meeting minutes. So I don't know what that completely stands for. Annual general
it's 16
meeting.
hours.
AGM. It's actually, I should have said AGM, abbreviation of this, but anyway, annual general meeting. So that's usually where the complex, the body corporate, the oaks and the complex, right? Where they'll just chat about any sort of issues. Like I once was considering a property in a complex, a townhouse, and then I looked at the AGM meeting minutes and they were like, we need to use all these funds to pay for this root issues of the trees, and is likely going to be a special levy in the future. And then I was like, whoa, that's definitely not what I want, that I'm going to be entering into a complex that has all these financial issues. And another one is the, I think you say financial statements, the complex financial statements. Yeah, so it's the financials, the AGM meeting minutes, and the CMA. Ask for those three things. Also, I had a look at the financial statements of the complex, and my word, you spot like, oh my gosh, the amount of levies in arrears, right, where people haven't paid. So it tells you into the demographic, it tells you into, gives you insight into how they're managing the funds. I read an AGM meeting minutes where they said that the the management was not inefficient. They were like, they weren't doing their job right, and it was an issue, and they need to have it replaced. And those sorts of things you don't want to deal with. So always important, townhouse or apartment, just ask for the AGM meeting minutes, the financials and the CMA. For properties, just do CMA, because obviously for a standalone home, there's no meeting minutes of everyone there because it's a single property. So yeah, so that's pretty much, I think, where we're going to call it. The video is already 15 minutes, guys. I've already given you a little bit of value in the sense of the 3 things you ask the agent via WhatsApp. Take a look at the size, take a look at the levies. We've looked at monthly payments. Let's look at this place. 1599, 58 square meters as well. Very interesting backdrop with wood. I wouldn't want anything with wood personally. What is that? Did you notice this as well? There's a random hook for the door over there. I don't know about that, so that looks strange. But okay, I suppose it's required if you want to keep your door open and lock it open for some reason, instead of just using one of those like door stoppers. That's funny. Air fryer on the fridge, because when you want chips, just, you know, open it up on a stool and then cook it over there, because there's no plug points down here. No, I'm joking. I don't know, maybe they got a plug point, or they bring it down when they want stuff. But if you like me, air fryers are lifesavers, so that's delicious. Very interesting camera location, very interesting. Okay, so this house is very nice as well. Yeah. What is that? Is that like a rabbit? This is a animal lover, because you can see there they had 2 cages, very ginormous. Peppa Pig for the win. Oh, sleeping Lilo and Stitch, that's so cute. But yeah, so this space is very nice. Yo, they got lizards. What's it? Aquatic? No, an aquarium. Yeah, very interesting. And two door. Yeah, very interesting. So 1599. Let's actually try find before we end off here. Let's try find a 1.7, 1.8. That's quite nice. Let's actually sort by property high to low. So let's see, do we have anything decent here? 1995, 3 bedroom, very rare, but the location isn't too ideal, I would say. Yeah, but if you want to enter and you want to have a 3 bedroom, this is probably one of the cheapest ones you'll find. Nice space. Let's see what the space is. We just immediately go to pictures here. But yeah, so 3 bedroom, 151 square meters. That's quite nice. But let's see what's the floor size. 121, very good size. 151 earth size, so it's about what, 30 square meter garden. Rates and taxes 1,100, and no levies, which is nice because it's a standalone property. 2.5 bathrooms, so that's 2 bathrooms and then just 1 toilet. Older light fittings there, but I mean, for a 3 bedroom, can't go wrong. Very interesting tiled walls. Very interesting, but very spacious as well. I'll show you where this is on the maps. So if we go here, to my knowledge, it's just over here. So you come off the Sandown Centre that was newly built, and then it would be right. Here we go. Tuscany Way. It's this section over here. So the reason why it's not too ideal, so it would be in here, is number one, this is quite a closed-in space. You can see, and when it's closed in, everyone's got their cars parked around, and it's definitely not as good as this. Like, their cars are most likely on the outside. But yeah, decent little spot, I'd say, if you want to get a property, a home, 3 bedroom for 1.9 in the area. The only thing is, I think this area or this intersection here is where a lot of people just sit and try get employment for the weekend, and that's not too ideal. You can see foundational cracks already on the building, so not too ideal, but location very good location. Just to drive down, you'll be at the Sandown Centre, so definitely worth consideration. But for 1.9, I probably wouldn't enter in at that point. But yeah, very nice, very spacious. You can see also foundational cracks over there, or some cracks over there. Interesting crack on the window. Think of that what you may, I don't know. But yeah, so it's one of the ones that you can see, actually a decent location. It's this. It looks like it might be one of these on the side here. So it looks like it might actually be that one, judging by the, there you go. So it's that one over there. So you can see it's actually on this corner here. opposite is this nice complex there, which would be this one over here, and it looks like you've got a door coming out. Yeah, this is a very nice road. You can see there's already what I was talking about earlier. But yeah, very decent, very worth consideration, I'd say, but personally not for me. 1,100, also reasonable. 19,000, so if you're a dual family income, what does it say the recommended income is for this? Gross monthly income required 63. Dang. But it's possible. I mean, if both people are earning 30 or wife's earning 20 and hey man, wife or husband earning 40, you know, you make it work, but you've got to deal with 63,000. So yeah, I usually look at the videos as well if they have any, but yeah, not too bad. One garage, one parking bay, 3 bedroom, which is nice, decent space. 1,950. I've seen others sell for, let's say, 2.1 million, 3 bedroom, very nice area. So for an extra 200,000, I would probably go for that instead. But it is definitely smaller. This floor size is quite nice, and then on top of it, yeah, you're into the property market at 1,950. But for me personally, wouldn't go there. So yeah, so that's pretty much everything so far. I think if anything, I'd be considering some of the new developments because you don't have to pay transfer duties on those. But yeah, that's house hunting Property24 in Blouberg. I don't think there's pretty much anything else to go through. You can see here's a 2-bedroom house, so this would be decent. Let's actually look at the houses real quick. Since there's only 33, we've got a little bit of time. Okay, so 2 mil, 3 bedroom. So that doesn't look too bad. Already you can see an improvement on the interior, on the exterior. I like this one. For 50,000 rand more, has potential. I don't know the location, but it does look decent. Low maintenance over there with AstroTurf, not too bad. Very interesting pots and pan placement, so maybe short on cupboard space. But yeah, overall not too bad. 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath. Okay, you have to pay levies because in most likely some secure estate. Let's see what other houses that we have here. Yeah, these things are come and they go type properties because the minute they come on, they get bought up because freestanding homes are in high demand. Yeah, so personally, yeah, I wouldn't go for any of these at these price points. This one's an honorable mention, 1,799 for a 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom there. So it depends what you want. At the end of the day, as long as it makes sense for your monthly repayments, then go for it. But one thing you need to consider is the amortization calculation as well. So it's not just you pay 1,799, and it's not just that you add on as we spoke about, the bond registration and property transfers. When you take out a bond or a mortgage with the bank, you have to front load the interest payments. So that's what the amortization calculator checks, is it'll see over the course of the 20-year period, 25, 15-year, whatever you choose, 30-year, how much interest are you actually paying. So this 1,799 is great initial figure, right? That's what you're signing on. But when you now get the bank involved, you end up paying interest over time. So this 1,799 isn't actually 1,799. It's much more over the course of your stay there. So you need to factor that in. Maybe we'll cover that in another video, but yeah, for now, just looking around, seeing 1,799, you can see that you still have to pay an extra 110 on top of it. So 1.8 takes to about 1,910. Yeah, this will take you to 1,910,000. Let's just see, we are on currently 23 minutes. So yeah, so that's analyzing properties in the area. I'd probably look at a Baldwin development, so something like Baldwin. So I'd probably look at something like this if we go into it. You can see at the moment, so the reason why this is appealing is for a 2-bedroom. Currently, I believe it's 1.740 or so. If we take a look, actually, let's view the map here. So this is their new development. I'm going to look at the satellite view. You can see it's in a decent area. All the properties we were looking at, majority in the price point under 2 million, are within this Parklands range over here. You can see it down this road over here. We looked at Gee Road as well over here. So areas that have already been development, we looked over there, we looked over here. We never really saw anything in the Parklands North, definitely not in the Sunningdale area because that's all 2 mil and up. Sandown, no, nothing under 2 mil as well. You may only find in Parklands North a 2-bed, 1 bath for sub 2 million if you're lucky. But yeah, most of the stuff is in Parklands and Tableview. Then this one here, Sacred Boss, new development. I'll show you the 2 bedrooms, so that would be on the 2nd floor to my knowledge, and this would be a floor size. So for 1,740, you get the 2 bedroom, you get 2 bathroom, you get brand new, you get appliances that come with it as well, and you get brand new finishings, everything, fitting, sorry, and yeah, it looks so much better. And what's that? Apartment 66 square meters with a 7 balcony, total 73 square meters, so it's decent. The offering that you get here is really decent. I think the levies are around 1.6, so it's comparable to those other old ones that are currently listed for like 1.6, 1.5, 1.4, somewhere there. But then on top of it, you have to pay transfers. It takes you up to like 1.6. I mean, would you rather spend 100 extra to get in a new place, or would you rather spend the 1.6 and get in a slightly older place? So yeah, Baldwin's offer is actually brilliant, but it's also ridiculous how I feel like it's driving up prices, and it also is expensive. I mean, they used to be 1.3, 1.4, I think it was, back in Fynbos, but now they're at 1.7. So yeah, it's quite rough with regards to pricing, but otherwise not too bad. A decent offer, and yeah, the finishes are very nice. You can see here compared to, you know, the other ones, I mean, it's a no-brainer. So yeah, that's just from a property purchasing point, and then obviously you don't have to pay transfers because it's a new development, and you also don't have to pay the bond registration costs necessarily. I think they give you a significant discount there, but obviously their price point's 1,740. So yeah, so this is probably what I'd consider in the areas. There's some people don't like these apartments, developments, etc., because, you know, the levies scale up quite considerably over time. But in the Cape Town market, for new first-time home buyers, right, like, we just want to get into the market and purchase something. Otherwise, your alternatives are rentals, and I didn't even get into that, but yeah, rentals is another story in the area as well. Like, if you have 12 to 16,000, 12 to 20,000 available for a 2-bedroom, okay, not 20,000, maybe like 18,000. So anywhere from 12 to 18,000 a 2-bedroom, and then for 1-bedrooms are like 9 to 12, I would say. So all things to consider. Currently, with interest in the bank only being at 6.9%, if you've got more than 100,000 on an F&B maximizer, for example, yeah, I think property investment might be worthwhile. So yeah, house hunting Property24. Let me know if you have any suggestions for videos, but hopefully this was helpful. Things to consider when you message the agent was the AGM meeting minutes, CMA, and the complex financials, and then also obviously inquire about the address. And then when it comes to taking a look at properties, just take a look at the earth size, take a look at the floor size, take a look at your levies and your rates and taxes. Always take a look at your bond registration costs and property transfer. Know that if the property is over 1.2, you will likely have to pay the property transfer costs. I'm not sure if there's a reduction in it, in a sense. So if the property is 1.2, I think you pay 3% of the total purchase price over 1.2 million. But yeah, anything below, you wouldn't have to pay that. And then bond registration, 46,000. So just keep that in mind, and then also take a look at the amortization. What are you going to be paying over the period? Because I can't recall, I think it was, you shouldn't use up the full extent of your affordability. So let's say, for example, your affordability in this instance, you're buying this complete financed, right? Then your affordability would be 1.8 million, right? And that's usually if your income is quite considerable. So 1.8 million, you know, if you use the full affordability, you're going to be indebted to the bank for a very long time. They're going to front load your interest, and over the course of 20 years, you can often end up paying, you know, double what more than double the property. So your 1,799, like, on the surface looks all right when you also pack on the 110, but you know, over 20 years, you know, it wasn't the best financial move. If you were to rather purchase, let's say, a 1.5, yes, it's not ideal, but you get it paid off faster, and you don't have to pay that interest to the bank as long. So you just need to be smart about your future. We'll take a look at that in future videos, but that's how I would look at properties. That's looking at a few properties in the Blouberg area and a few things to consider as well. Hey guys, cool. Today